Welcome back to Speak English with Mishu, your go-to podcast for learning real, practical English in a way that actually fits your life. I'm Emily.
And I'm Liam. Whether you're commuting, cleaning, or just chilling with a notebook, we're so glad you're here. Today's episode is going to be a real game changer.
Let's be honest for a second. How many times have you said this? I will learn 100 new English words this month. Or, I will speak English fluently in 3 months.
Sounds familiar, right? You start super motivated. You write down your goals. You even buy a new notebook and promise yourself that this time it'll be different.
But fast forward a few weeks, you're tired, you miss a few days, life happens, and boom, the goal feels impossible again.
Exactly. And here's the secret most people don't talk about. Big goals are exciting, but systems are what actually lead to success.
Today, we're diving deep into the idea of switching from a goal mindset to a system mindset. It's not just motivational talk. It's about creating daily habits, routines, and thought patterns that actually support your English learning.
Let's learn why goals can sometimes hurt more than help, how small, repeatable actions build confidence, and how you can start creating a system for speaking English better today.
We'll even act out some everyday situations and give you practical examples you can copy. So by the end of this episode, you'll not only be inspired, you'll have a real plan that works.
Let's get started. In the next part, we're going to talk about a very common pattern most English learners fall into and how it keeps them stuck.
So Liam, let me ask you, when you first started learning English, did you have big goals like, I want to speak perfectly, or I want to pass the exam in 3 months?
Oh, absolutely. I remember telling myself, I'll master all the grammar rules by next month. I was so focused on the end goal that I ignored the small steps in between.
That's exactly the problem. Many learners start with big goals and feel super excited, but when progress is slow or hard to measure, frustration kicks in.
Right. And it's not just about grammar or vocabulary. It happens with speaking, listening, writing, every skill. When the goal feels too big, it can actually make you avoid practicing.
Like when you want to speak perfectly, but then feel scared to say even one sentence because you think, if it's not perfect, what's the point?
Exactly. Here's a quick story. My friend Sarah wanted to improve her speaking fast. She set a goal to speak only in English for 1 hour every day. But after a few days, life got busy, and she missed her hour. Then she felt like a failure and stopped trying.
So the goal became a source of pressure instead of motivation. Sound familiar?
Definitely. And it happens to so many learners out there. They start with big dreams, but no clear daily plan, and eventually they burn out.
What do you think causes that burnout, Liam?
It's mostly because goals focus on results, but forget the process. Without a system, small, daily actions that fit your life, the goals are like a finish line that keeps moving.
That's a perfect way to put it. In the next part, we'll explore more deeply why this happens, including what psychology tells us about habits and motivation. All right, Liam, now that we've talked about the struggles, let's dig into why big goals can sometimes backfire, especially for English learners.
Sure. One big reason is something called the all or nothing mindset. When people set big goals, they expect perfect results. So if they miss one day or one practice, they think, I failed, and give up.
That's right. Our brains love quick rewards, but language learning is slow and steady. When the reward, like fluency, feels very far away, our motivation drops.
There's also the problem of decision fatigue. Imagine deciding every day, should I practice now? Should I study vocabulary or grammar? Without a system, your brain gets tired making too many small decisions.
And then comes fear of failure. If you only focus on the big goal, like speak fluently, every mistake feels like a huge setback.
Which is so unfair because mistakes are actually the best way to learn English.
Absolutely. Think about kids learning their first language. They don't worry about perfect grammar or pronunciation, they just keep trying.
And that's the mindset we want to help our listeners build, where learning is fun and part of daily life, not a stressful race.
Exactly. In psychology, building habits is the key. When you have a habit, you don't have to make decisions every time. It just happens naturally.
So instead of chasing big, scary goals, we build small habits that add up over time.
And guess what? That's exactly what we'll cover next: how to build systems that help you learn English every day without stress. Okay, Liam, now let's really get into the idea of systems. What does it mean to have a system for learning English?
Great question. A system is a set of daily or regular actions that become part of your routine. Instead of focusing on a big goal like, I want to speak fluently in 6 months, you focus on what you do every day to get better.
For example, instead of saying, I will learn 50 new words by the end of the month, a system would be, I will learn and review 5 new words every day.
Yes, that way you build a habit. And even if you miss a day, it's not the end. You just continue the next day without feeling like a failure.
One of my favorite examples is the famous British cycling coach Dave Brailsford. He didn't focus on winning every race immediately. Instead, he focused on tiny improvements every day, like shaving seconds here and there. Those small changes added up and made his team world champions.
That's a powerful example. Small, consistent actions lead to big results over time.
And in English learning, this means building habits like speaking for 5 minutes daily, listening to a podcast while cooking, or writing a short journal every evening.
Exactly. The key is that the system fits your lifestyle and feels easy enough to keep doing.
It's about progress, not perfection. A system makes learning feel less like a mountain and more like a series of small, doable steps.
In the next part, we'll talk about how to identify the right systems for you and start creating your own.
All right, Liam. So we know that systems are better than just goals, but how do our listeners figure out which systems actually work for them?
That's a great point, Emily. Everyone's different. The key is to find small habits that fit your daily life, your energy, and your interests.
For example, if you love music, you might build a system around listening to English songs and singing along every day. If you like reading, maybe reading a short article or story is your daily habit.
And it doesn't have to be perfect or long. Even just 2 minutes a day of speaking English to yourself or your pet can build your confidence.
Exactly. The idea is to start small so it's easy to keep going. When you succeed with small habits, your brain feels motivated to keep going.
Here's a simple way to find your system. 1. Think about what you enjoy. 2. Pick one small action you can do every day. 3. Make it part of your routine, like brushing your teeth or having coffee. 4. Slowly build from there.
Also, don't be afraid to change your system if it's not working. The goal is progress, not punishment.
And remember, a system should make learning fun or at least easy. If it feels like a chore, you won't keep it up.
In the next parts, we'll share some practical systems that work well for English learners, step-by-step examples you can try right now. All right, Liam, let's start with a simple but powerful system that anyone can do: daily mini speaking practice.
Yes! Instead of trying to speak for an hour straight, start with just 2 to 5 minutes every day. It could be talking about your day, describing something around you, or even reading aloud.
Let me give you a quick example. Imagine you just finished your dinner. You say to yourself, today I ate rice and vegetables. It was delicious. I want to try new recipes next week. It's simple, but it helps your brain get used to forming English sentences.
And here's a little role play between us to show how to practice.
Talking to herself, I woke up early today. The weather was nice and sunny. I walked to the park and saw many birds.
That sounds great! What did you do at the park?
I sat on a bench and listened to music. It was relaxing.
You can practice by recording yourself or even imagining a conversation like this.
The important part is to build the habit, daily small talk, even if it feels a little silly at first.
Because every sentence you say aloud helps your mouth and brain get comfortable with English.
In the next part, we'll talk about another system that helps improve your listening and understanding skills. Now, Liam, let's move to another powerful system that helps with listening, and that's building a daily listening habit.
Listening is super important because it trains your ear to understand different accents, speeds, and common phrases.
And the best part? You don't have to study for hours. Just listen for 5 to 10 minutes every day while doing something else, like walking, cooking, or even commuting.
Right. It could be a podcast, like this one, a YouTube video, or even English songs with lyrics.
Here's a quick example. Imagine you listen to a short story every morning. You don't have to understand every word, but over time, your brain gets used to the sounds and rhythm.
Let's do a quick role play to show how you can practice listening and understanding.
Emily, yesterday I went to the market and bought fresh fruits. The apples were sweet and juicy.
Liam, that sounds delicious. What fruits did you buy?
I bought apples, bananas, and some oranges.
Try to repeat or summarize what you hear in your own words after listening. This builds comprehension and speaking at the same time.
Remember, the goal is consistency. Even 5 minutes a day adds up to hours of listening each month.
And in the next part, we'll talk about a system to improve your vocabulary naturally every day.
All right, Liam, now let's talk about building your vocabulary day by day, a system that feels natural and easy.
Yes, instead of trying to memorize long word lists, choose 3 to 5 new words each day and use them in your speaking or writing.
For example, if today's word is excited, you can say, I am excited to learn English. Then tomorrow, use those words again to help remember them.
And here's a quick dialogue to show how learners can practice new vocabulary naturally.
I'm feeling excited because I learned new words today.
That's great! What words did you learn?
I learned excited, challenge, and improve.
Can you use challenge in a sentence?
Sure, learning English is a fun challenge for me. Using words in sentences helps you remember and understand them better.
Also, try to review your new words regularly. Spaced repetition is a great trick to keep words in your memory.
And don't worry if you forget a word sometimes. That's normal.
The key is to keep practicing little by little every day.
Next up, we'll share a special free resource to help you build your own English learning system. Liam, before we move on, I want to share something special for our listeners today.
Oh yes, Emily. We've created a free downloadable English learning system guide, a simple PDF that helps you design your own daily habits based on what we talked about today.
It includes easy steps to choose your favorite activities, build small daily habits, and track your progress without feeling overwhelmed.
Plus, it has sample schedules and tips for practicing speaking, listening, vocabulary, and more.
You can get this guide from the link in the description below or visit our website to download it for free.
It's perfect for anyone who wants to stop chasing big goals and start building lasting systems for learning English.
Remember, the best system is the one that fits your life and makes learning enjoyable.
Now, let's continue with some important English vocabulary from today's episode to help you understand and use these ideas better.
All right, Liam, let's look at some important words from today's episode. We'll explain each word simply and give examples.
Perfect. Let's start.
1. Goal, a result you want to achieve. Example, my goal is to speak English clearly.
2. System, a set of regular actions or habits to help reach a goal. Example, my study system includes practicing English for 10 minutes every day.
3. Habit, something you do regularly without thinking much. Example, brushing your teeth is a habit.
4. Burnout, feeling tired and losing motivation after too much effort. I felt burnout after studying English for many hours without breaks.
5. Consistency, doing something regularly over time. Example, consistency is important for improving your English.
6. Motivation, the reason or desire to do something. My motivation to learn English is to travel and meet new people.
7. Progress. Moving forward and improving. Little by little, I see progress in my English speaking every week.
Try to use these words when you talk or write about your learning journey.
They will help you understand lessons better and express yourself clearly. Liam, before we finish, here's an advanced tip for our listeners who want to take their learning system to the next level.
Sounds interesting, Emily. What's the tip?
It's about flexibility. Your system should be strong, but also flexible enough to adapt to your mood, schedule, or energy levels.
Exactly. Some days you might feel super motivated and practice for 20 minutes, and other days, just 2 minutes is enough.
And here's a little secret. Making learning fun helps you stick with your system longer. Try to include things you enjoy, like watching English movies, playing word games, or chatting with friends.
Here's a quick example conversation showing flexibility in action.
Today, I only have 5 minutes, so I'll just listen to my favorite English song.
That's great. Tomorrow, maybe you can practice speaking for 10 minutes.
See, even small efforts count.
So don't stress if you can't follow your system perfectly every day. Keep it light and enjoyable.
That way, you'll create a system that lasts, and that's the real key to success. Wow, Liam, we covered so much today. Let's quickly recap what our listeners learned.
Yes, we talked about why shifting from a goal-oriented mindset to a system-oriented mindset helps you avoid burnout and build long-term success.
We learned about the power of daily habits like mini speaking practice, listening regularly, and building vocabulary naturally.
And we shared a free guide to help you create your own personalized English learning system.
Remember, consistency and fun are the keys. Your system should fit your life and make learning enjoyable.
So take small steps every day, be flexible, and celebrate your progress, no matter how small.
You've got this. Learning English is a journey, and systems help you travel it smoothly.
Thank you so much for listening to Speak English with Mishu. If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe to our channel, like the video, and comment below with your favorite tip.
Also, share this episode with your friends who want to improve their English the smart way.
And don't forget to download the free English Learning System Guide from the description.
We'll see you next time with more tips and stories to help you speak English confidently.
Happy learning, everyone!